Watch a confused leftist try to paint the Daily Wire's Michael Knowles as some kind of racist of sorts, only to get absolutely schooled. Guys, it is a bad look for this kid. He came in hot. He thought he was real clever, and Knowles laid down the law. So we're going to get right into it. It's going to be fun. But first, do me a huge favor here. Like our video, folks, and share it around so we can keep bringing you all this great, hard-hitting content. As always, Patriots, I'm your host, Arian, and this is Resist the Mainstream.
Hello, Mr. Knowles. I saw a video where you seemed to endorse the Great Replacement Theory. And
what is the theory, if you don't mind my asking?
I
need to know what I'm endorsing.
Yeah, well, you said it was an empirical fact, and just to elaborate on what that theory is, it's the notion that some sort of elite cabal is trying to bring in immigrants to replace native-born Americans. That's what my understanding of the theory is, and you said it was an empirical fact.
Yeah, it's obviously happening, yeah.
And I also know the ADL says that theory is anti-Semitic. I know that PolitiFact says that theory is racist and anti-Semitic, and I also have seen you accuse others of anti-Semitism. So I was wondering if you would...
accused others of anti-Semitism?
The left of anti-Semitism.
When have I accused people of anti-Semitism?
I've seen many clips of you saying the left is guilty of anti-Semitism. So the question
the left broadly. Yeah,
I'm trying to ask the question, which is that I would like to know, sir, I want to give you the opportunity to recant support for the Great Replacement Theory.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Lest you, of course. I think I'm all for, people seeing the light of truth, as you stated in your speech. And I'd like to give you the opportunity to recant your support for that theory, lest you be guilty of what you accuse.
Okay, well, I'm not going to recant it because it's true and because the Democrats tell us it's true. There was a major political science paper that came out in the mid-2000s which recognized that there was a coalition of the ascendant, as they called it, of different groups that have come in largely through immigration that will displace the traditional American stock. And that this was a good thing because they tend to trend Democrat. You can see this in poll after poll. Ronald Reagan famously said that Hispanics are conservative, they just don't know it yet. I hope that's true. I got a lot of good Hispanic friends. I love my Cuban cigars and Nicaraguan cigars for that matter too. But it hasn't been borne out in the polls. And actually, identity with the Democrats persists for 3 generations at least among new immigrant groups, which are largely from Latin America. So, if the immigrants were supporting conservative policies in a traditional conservative country, I would, of course, take the Joe Biden position, open up the door and roll out the red carpet. But that isn't what's happened. So the Democrats have pushed that because they think that they can get votes, and it has worked for them very well. They've noted this. The New York Times has run columns describing how they will replace us. You bring up anti-Semitism. I don't know where that comes from. I mean,
the ADL
I don't think Joe Biden's a Jew, is he? I don't even think he's a Catholic.
The ADL, I'm referring to the ADL's classification.
But who cares what the ADL says? They say a lot.
I certainly care a lot, and also what concerns me as well. I saw in Charlottesville, horrible videos of the white nationalists there chanting, "They will not replace us." Direct allusion to the Great Replacement Theory that you are continuing.
Yeah, okay, well, I guess,
repeat.
I don't know. I'm not saying it's the Jews or anything like that. I think that when the Democrats tell us that's what they're doing from the White House and on the pages of the New York Times and in very popular political science academic work, I tend to believe them.
This gaslighting the left does with this whole thing is ridiculous, right? When they're talking about it, it's some kind of great thing because they're erasing white people, not just native-born Americans, as was said in the video, but white people. That is their intention. But then when we say it, oh, you're a racist, you're a conspiracy theory. Also, I don't call it the Great Replacement Theory, okay? It's the Great Replacement fact, all right? It's a fact that it's happening, and it's a fact that the left openly boasts about it gleefully, all right? I go back to my time when I was, unfortunately, in public school, middle school, high school, university, etc., all of the above. I had numerous teachers talk about this openly and gleefully. They'd say, kiddos, something really great's happening. By the year 2040, the white population is going to be a minority in the United States. It won't be a majority anymore. I'm not even making this up. I swear. Okay, maybe they didn't sound like that, but they would openly talk about how white people are going to be a minority, how great it is. I mean, it's disgusting. Can you imagine if we said that about any other country? I mean, not that it's happening in any other country because they're not as stupid as the United States where they let their native-born people get subverted by foreigners. But just imagine for a second. It'd be, oh, this is colonialism. It's so terrible. The white people are taking over. Oh, and that we have that in Africa, right? In certain countries in Africa, rather, where white people have come in and then they were vilified as, oh, the evil white colonialists. And then as soon as the white people got kicked out, the countries got irreparably worse. countries that come to mind are Rhodesia, which became Zimbabwe. It sucks now. It's a terrible country. South Africa, the Boers are getting attacked. Boers, excuse me. Terrible country now. Very violent, horrible place. Anyways, let's hear more of this nonsense.
I think the phenomenon that you're seeing right here in this exchange is that what Michael Anton refers to as the celebration parallax, which is that if I were a Democrat and I got up here and I said, you know, all of these crusty old Republican men, these men, especially the white men, these terrible people, they're about to lose their political power because of the mass migration, because they're all dying off. Oprah has used that phrase, by the way. Major Democrats have used this phrase. They're just going to have to die off. Then there would be raucous applause among liberals at Yale. But if I come up here and I say the exact same thing, I read verbatim from the New York Times or from political science journals or from Democrat politicians, I would be accused of bigotry or whatever because I'm saying the same thing, but I'm not celebrating it. And so I think that's what's going on. But I don't know, do you really deny that Democrats have engaged in a mass migration program?
I think you're entitled to an opinion, but not your own facts.
I'm just asking you a simple question.
What I've seen, I think Democrats support helping innocent people who are fleeing persecution, who are
what about
a better life. My grandparents,
which is the majority.
Sir, my grandparents fled the communists in China to come to this nation. And I will say, as a member of the Democratic Party, the reason why I support immigration is not for some conspiracy theory to replace people, but because I think immigration makes our nation stronger. And I think when you look at the Statue of Liberty and you see the poem there, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, I think that it is the American thing to do to extend a helping hand to these innocent people. And I will also add that undocumented immigrants, for instance, contribute $100 billion in taxes to the U.S. economy.
Immigrants are a net drag because of welfare programs and also because of crime. But I'm glad that you like that ridiculous...
Are you saying...
Hold on 1 second. I'm glad you like that silly poem on the Statue of Liberty written by a socialist on a statue given to us by the post-revolutionary French. That's all well and good. I'm a New Yorker. I like the statue well enough. But that doesn't supersede federal immigration law. The silly poem doesn't supersede the Constitution and the way that laws are actually passed in this country. So it seems to me that the American people have the right, through their elected representatives, to pass immigration laws to determine who comes in and out of this country, who gets to benefit from our great abundance and generosity. And you say otherwise. You say you like mass migration, mass illegal immigration. Okay, that's fine. I don't think that's particularly American. I think it's anti-American, illegal, makes the nation weaker, and that's why I oppose it. You can call me a conspiracy theorist if you want, but you're admitting that it's happening. How's that a conspiracy theory?
Thank you.
And he runs away. Also, lest you think that Michael Knowles was making this part up about how the academic journals will openly talk about this replacement theory, check this out. Well. This is according to the Brookings Institution, a very well-known left-leaning big academic organization. The U.S. will become minority white by 2045, census projects. Youthful minorities are the engine of future growth. You hear that, folks? The engine of future growth. You know, get out of here, white people. It's time for minorities. Okay, a little bit weird, but I digress. With all that being said, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for tuning in. As always, comment below, let us know what you enjoyed about the clip, what kind of stuff you want to see in the future, and also hit that subscribe button down below, and that way we can make sure that we see you again soon. God bless.